Alright, so I know I'm a little bit late to this topic, but didn't ask, don't care, plus I've been in the gym. And on top of that, the situation is so ridiculous that to not talk about it would be basically handing myself an L. Like, this is the definition of free content, but basically this happened over on Twitch a few days ago. A not so well-known streamer basically got mad at somebody in his chat saying that their mom died. There's a lot more to get into in terms of context and what exactly went down, but that's basically the short version of it. But yeah, basically there's this guy, and I don't even know what his Twitch handle is. Even if I did, I wouldn't give him the free promo. But he was live last week just chatting with his audience, you know, catching up with his community, doing all that. And at one point in the stream, somebody in his chat was typing who hadn't been typing in the chat for like a few weeks or something. And he basically was like, yo, where you been at? You know, you haven't been in my stream chat. What's going on? Where have you been? The chatter responds by disclosing that their mom died, so they haven't been online as much. And yeah, this is how the streamer responds.
Curvy, where the f have you been? Oh my god, well tell you what, Miss Dirty Curvy, you know what we're not gonna do? We're not gonna talk about it in my chat. Cause it's Friday, and that is a whole big bucket of bummer. And I'm sorry for your loss, but we're not doing that in my fucking chat.
Okay, so already off to a pretty terrible start. Like, man, if you're upset that, you know, she's talking about how her mom died or something, or the way you said it, which was, it's a bucket of bummer to hear about that, bro, imagine how she feels. Like, imagine how she feels to hear about that. She probably feels that it's a bit more significant than a bucket of bummer. Her mom died. Like, that's literally a tragedy. It's a bit more than a bucket of bummer. This is quite literally an experience that will be haunting her for the rest of her life. I know you're trying to keep your positive vibes, 100 emoji energy on this lovely Friday or whatever, and that chat message really bummed you out, but too bad, bro. Here's the thing, too. I'm not unreasonable. I would understand you being upset if some random person came in your chat and, like, trauma dumped and asked you for, like, you know, support or advice. Like, a random person comes in your chat, says, hey, you know, my entire apartment building burned down. All my family is dead. Hey, you wanna, like, give me some support and advice? Like, obviously, it's a streamer. Like, they play video games. They're not equipped to deal and digest, like, personal, unique trauma for every single one of their viewers. But this is somebody who has been in your chat or your community for a bit, or at least long enough for you to know who they were and notice that they weren't in the community for a bit. And when they're back, or at least, you know, in chat for one time after a long time of not being in chat, and then you ask, hey, what's going on? How have you been? And they respond with honesty, like, how can you really be mad? I feel like when there's somebody who's well known in your chat or community and they drop like some sad news like that, all you have to say is like, sorry for your loss, hope things get better. I feel like that's all they would want and expect. Like, they're not expecting you to, like, you know, solve their problems. They're not expecting you to, you know, pause the entire stream and give a moment of silence for their lost loved one. Like, they just want to hear like, hey, sorry for your loss, hope you're doing okay. But yes, the clip continues and it gets worse. Let's see it.
Thank you. Well, okay, Miss Dirty Curvy, you said, no, that's fine. You asked, so I told. No, I didn't ask you to tell me the biggest fucking bummer news in the world. I said, hey, what's up? How are you? You know what? Let me give you a little bit of a lesson, Miss Nerdy Curvy. When something really, really bad is going on in your life, and in a public forum, someone asks you, hey, what's up? How are you? There are two acceptable responses. Good, and you know what? I'll make it through. That's it. How are you? Good, or you know what? I'll make it through. Awesome. Love to hear it.
So he's not entirely wrong in the fact that, like, yes, there is a societal standard to just say, like, oh, I'm doing good, or, oh, yeah, I'm alright when somebody asks, how are you? But when I talk to my friends and I ask, like, hey, how are you? I would hope that they trust me enough and are comfortable enough to share with me if something bad really did happen in their life. It's healthy not to just always say, I'm good, I'm alright, I'm okay, especially when you're just not okay. With that being said, if you just meet somebody for the first time and they're like, hey, how are you? You know, you don't just unload all that, you know, trauma on them. But this viewer whose mom had died had probably been watching the streamer for a long enough time to have felt comfortable sharing that information to begin with. Usually when you're comfortable enough in a setting to be vulnerable with certain information, it's because you trust that the person you're sharing that info with is gonna have an appropriate reaction. Even if you want to make the argument that she shouldn't have typed that in the chat, there's no denying that the dude's reaction to it was way out of line.
I'll make it through. Awesome. Love to hear it. See, there you go. Or Prom's response. Yeah, I said, Prom, how are you doing? She says, I'm alive. Oh, I asked you where you were. Look, Mr. Curvy, I'm just subtly trying to tell you that unloading really heavy news in people's chats on Twitch is not like good etiquette.
bro, move on. Like, okay, you got one chat message that bugged you out, or what, it was a bucket of bummer, God forbid. You are now actively choosing to engage in this conversation, even though you know that it's gonna, like, upset you and, I don't know, ruin the vibes of your stream. Your take is that this chatter was showing poor manners by sharing an overly personal experience in your public chat. I mean, if you want to talk about, like, proper etiquette, I would say that it's even worse etiquette to single out one single viewer on your stream who had a recent death in the family, who is supporting you, by the way, by watching your stream, and get your entire chat to basically tell this person that she has no social awareness whatsoever. Like, I just feel like that's uncalled for.
It's not the place to do it. That's all I'm trying to tell you. That's it. I figured this is a good opportunity to inform you. Heavy news like that, when someone asks, hey, where have you been? You don't need to tell them, well, my dog died, my husband left me for a younger woman, my house burnt down, and my car got stolen. So I've been a little bit busy. That's why I haven't been around. Because it's like, oh, God, like, ugh.
Bro, I'm starting to think that you're the one who lacks social skills. You've spent much more time being annoyed that somebody told you their mom died than actually expressing any sort of condolences. Look, I understand that it's a stranger at the end of the day, you probably don't know this person, but like, even if you didn't care, which you probably didn't, all you had to say was, I'm sorry for your loss, things will get better. If you just said that and then moved on, I guarantee you would have forgotten about this bucket of bummer in like 5 minutes.
Like, you know, like, if someone asks, like, hey, what's up? Where have you been? And it's heavy, just be like, I had a bunch of shit going on, so I've been lying low for a little while. Got it. That's it. I'm not trying to rip you a new ass.
So that's where the clip ends. Is it the worst thing I've ever seen happen on Twitch? No. Was it a completely out of pocket and overreaction from the streamer? Absolutely. The funny thing is, too, when you really think about it, like, what are the chances that he would say something like this to somebody IRL? Like, if he's reconnecting with somebody who he hasn't spoken to in a while, and he's like, hey, how you been, man? And the dude's like, yeah, you know, not great. My mom died. It's been rough, you know? Like, I doubt he would be like, beep, 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 bummer alert, please terminate conversation. Like, no, he'd be like, oh shit, I'm really sorry to hear that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if he would be like slightly annoyed to hear that information and maybe it's like a vibe killer, do you think that he would have like lectured his friend on like social cues and like what to not say in a social setting? Like, that just seems like something that just wouldn't take place. And plus, bro, let's say you're a streamer who streams for 4 hours a day. Like, dude, who cares if you have to spend 30 seconds of those 4 hours like saying your condolences to a chatter? If it got to the point where you were saying sorry for your loss every 15 minutes or, you know, more than 5 times every stream, I would understand you getting mad. And you could definitely say something like, guys, there's been a lot of people in my chat telling me about their personal grievances, and I understand that, you know, these things are tough to go through. I'm just some guy, I'm a streamer, I have my own life problems, and when everybody is constantly spamming about their problems in chat, it gets overwhelming and I don't know how to respond. So if you guys could please stop sharing your grievances in my chat, or at least just try to do it less often, I would appreciate that. Thank you. Like, that would be an appropriate response, I think. But yeah, as we saw, we are pretty far from that at the moment. But that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Comment down bagel if you made it to the end of the video, and I'll try to heart your comments. Follow my social medias, links are all down below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.